Welcome back. Day number 11. So 10 and 1, 11. The title of today is Think Like an Athlete. So a lot of this from here on in, we're going to repeat and give you different ways to think about how you should set up your plan and how you should cycle whatever this program is you're going to do over this next year. And thinking like an athlete is very much like to that, back to the episode we talked about periodize, and we also talked about being in season and off season. So again, just to reinforce the fact, I want you to start thinking like an athlete. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to be just the CrossFit athlete or the AFL or the football or the rugby or the soccer or the runner or the jumper, none of that type of stuff. I think just in general, think like an athlete. An athlete has a period of time where they are in that zone. And they're in that zone because they're in the zone and they are competing. And in your case, that's going to be you going hell for leather at that particular goal. They'll come off at the end of that period of time where they will have a post-season, where they'll do a bit of a debrief, and maybe that might mean the end of the regular season. So if you follow things like football, or let's call it British football, soccer if you will, they come to the end of their normal season, a bit of a hiatus for a period of time, and then like the European Club Championships or the likes will happen. We have the same thing in basketball. We have our regular season. Towards the end of that season, we have a period of time that's off, and then we go into the state championships and the like, and depending upon the age group, we have another little break, and then we have the national age group championships, and that may involve a lot more travel interstate. So I want you to start thinking like an athlete. Now, why is that also important? Well, an athlete just doesn't do one thing. You see, a runner doesn't just run. They don't just run. They also do weight training. A sprinter will also do long runs. Yes, I'm a big fan of whatever your sport is, do your sport. So if you're a basketballer and you want to jump higher, jump more. If you're a long jumper and you want to jump further, jump more. But at the end of the day, you do need to do other stuff to supplement those skills. So yes, the soccer player will hit the gym. The runner will also hit the gym. If you can't see what I'm talking about, there is a regular theme. There is a getting strong theme to support that skill of the sport that athlete will need. And you and I are both the same. You see, you might say, okay, well, I'm going down this path. I'm going to get better at BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or Judo or mixed martial arts or something. Then working in the gym can also help me. It'll help me with my positional strength. It'll help me with my trunk. It might help me with my grip. So if I'm going in, I'm going to get a collar and I want to take the person down, I don't want to have a weak ass grip because it's pointless. So therefore, things like heavy farmers carries, cable push downs and the likes can also help me develop that grip strength. And also too, if I'm in guard and someone is on the mount with me, then I'm in mixed martial arts. Yes, they can rain down fists upon me, but if I am strong in my hands, I can grip, I can pull them in, I can stop being punched in the head. I may do a hip bridge, I may do a reach, I may turn them over, I may take them into side mount, I might get them into guard, and then I may submit them, all because of that stuff outside of the skill of the sport help me do that. So thinking like an athlete does that. Now, an athlete, particularly those in today's world, we typically do off seasons. Some are notorious for it. Some throughout the 70s and 80s were very notorious. For example, like Charles Barkley used to balloon up like Mr. Marshmallow Man so that he was never traded, so the story goes. But he knew he could dial it back in his preseason and get back down to competition weight that he was comfortable with, moving that large mass up and down the court and still shooting and guarding and dribbling and defending and all the likes that you see in that sport. So I want you to do this. I want you to go back to that initial plan, that initial draft, and even still, I want you to go back to your goal. I want you to now put your hat on like you're an athlete. What is your goal? If your goal is weight loss, and you're going about doing it with some strength training primarily and then some cardio over here, how would an athlete tackle that? It might mean that I want to push the strength training in 1 week and I want to let my body recover in the next week. So I might switch from a strength bias next week, going heavy, going lower volume but heavy and building muscle. And I know next week my body's going to go, Dom, you need a bit of a rest, so therefore I might pare that back a bit. But then in order to put my volume up, for me to burn those calories that I'm obviously going to want to do as part of a weight loss program, I may well then step up the conditioning, the cardio. So I might go for a walk. I might even start taking a run if that's the new thing for you to try. Or hey, I might go on the elliptical, I might go on the bike, treadmill, may even just bring out the skipping rope and increase that, and therefore increase my step count for that period of time. Because see, we can't always keep everything up at this level, because like anything, after a period of time we will just feel like that's the top of the water and we are drowning. So today, think like an athlete. Go back and recap. Do you have the seasons, the in-season, the post-season, the pre-season, the off-season? Are you cycling through what you're after? Is your goal here and then down here you got some good foundation support? Or are you all the way up here and at some point you're just going to get burnout? There's nothing worse than being a top athlete and burning out. No matter what amount of money they give you, well, suddenly when you're not performing, you're no longer getting given. Think like an athlete. That's today's topic. Go back and recap. And as I said before, I do have a template that is simply, it's a 1-year structure that I will give to our clients and work with them on mapping out their own individual blueprint. This one happens to have some of the stuff that I know that's worked for me and worked for a handful of my other clients. It won't work for everybody. So if you're after that, all you got to do is comment below. Maybe even you might DM me, whatever the case is, you know how to get hold of me, and therefore just use that word blueprint. We can have a chat. I get your name, your email address and so forth, because I'll send it to you that way rather than just going, here's a free download to go and get, because my concern is that people go and get and don't do. Execution is what we're after. That's it. All for now. Again, go and think like an athlete.